You know what, guys? I think for the most part, I'm just going to vibe out in my truck for the next few videos, man. Probably the next several videos, honestly. Because I just want to be by myself right now. I don't even want to be seen. I don't want to see myself. I don't even want you to see me. But I'm just going to do these videos in my truck so I can talk to y'all about a few things, man. First and foremost, let me go ahead and get it out there within the first minute of this video and just let you know that I hate, with a capital H, yes, I'm boying you guys right now. I hate the tradition of marriage. It's an absolute joke, I think, for most of us. What is the rate of divorce right now? I don't even know, man. It's not good, I tell you that. But you know what, guys? To all the husbands out there, man, let me ask you something. And ladies, you can express your input too. That's fine. First and foremost, let me say this. I am happily married, but not in the way that I think most people would say they're happily married, okay? And let me explain that real quick. I'm happily married in the sense that I do see great value in my wife. I do love my wife. I love my wife. But how many of you can say this? And I know it can go both ways, but for the most part, women don't really outgrow their teenage phase. And maybe I can only say that based on my own experience. So I'm going to say not all, but I feel like most just don't outgrow their teenage phase. Bruh. So here's what's going on in my life right now, man. So in the beginning of my marriage, I've been married now almost a year now. Matter of fact, the end of this month makes a year. Yay, not. So, in the beginning of the marriage, I had this mindset that, you know what, man, I want to be the best damn husband I can be. Despite what we've been through in the past, no matter what happened, no matter what the future might look like for us right now, from a bird's eye view, if that makes sense. But I'm going to do my damn best, and I'm going to be a great husband. I love my wife. I have faith in her that she'll do right by me. We've got 5 kids, one of which is biologically mine. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to make this woman an honest woman, as the old folks would say, and I'm going to marry that lady after being engaged for a year. Now, a little bit of backstory. She and I have both made a lot I mean, a lot of mistakes. I mean, what's the surprise there? You know, we're humans, okay? What's the surprise? We've gotten into a lot of fights where only my mistakes were often recognized repeatedly, no matter how long ago they were, repeatedly recognized. And I've pardoned so many of her mistakes, or excuse me, bad decisions, that I don't even remember a lot of them. So when we fight, I oftentimes have to dig deep to remember what she's done to sort of try to defend myself, because it's just like, damn, I'm the only one fucking up. I gotta be. I'm the only one. So fast forward, we're married now. You know, we got married last year back in at the end of this month. So it was like May 30th, right before I got out of the Army. And like I said, I just wanted to do it right. Clean slate, forget about whatever she's done. I've had a lot of mess ups. We're gonna look beyond these and just be great. Just be great. Power moves. Couples goals. Let's do it. Right? Fifty-50. We're in this together. We're sharing all the responsibilities. I respect you, you respect me. We're equals in this. Then I find her messaging another guy on Instagram. Now, mind you, my wife's a pretty girl. She's a pretty girl. I mean, what was I supposed to do? Just, go marry some ugly chick just to, avoid the insta thirst of other men who will gladly give any woman unsolicited attention. And see, to the point here where I feel that most women haven't outgrown their teenage phase, is because here you are, a married woman, and you engage in this disrespectful conversation with this dude. Now, the conversation wasn't like vulgar or sexual or anything like that, but, he was shooting his shot and she was entertaining it. Now, I'm not mad at the guy, I tell you that. I'm not mad at him at all. She's a cute girl. And, but I'm upset with her though, because you're the one that owes me loyalty as your husband. I've given you no reason since we've been married to feel that I've got time for anyone else. I mean, anyone else. But you, and see, it's dumb because you really thought, or she really thought, that she was the only one with options out here. It's just like, come on, man. Come on. It's like, how old are we, man? We were engaged for a whole year. for a whole year. And by the end of that year, you were angry with me. Why do I keep saying you? She was angry with me because I wouldn't, or let's see, I proposed to her and she let me know she wasn't ready to get married right when I proposed to her. So I said, all right, because I was ready. I was ready to lay away my childish ways, put aside the drama, ready to recognize her as potentially the best thing that could happen to me. And so I said, you know what, man? These hoes out here, they could never be anything beyond that. So when I chose my wife, I chose her understanding that, you know, despite, you know, flaws. Like I said, we're human. She's not perfect, but she, you know, I felt that she was perfect for me in spite of that, you know. So when I go and, you know, the dust settles and I asked her, I said, hey, you know, what made you entertain this man's advances? What made you decide that it was okay to disrespect our union? You want to know what her answer was? She says, I don't know. I wasn't thinking anything. I didn't have a reason. So I said, okay. A lot went down after that because in my eyes, you know, there's more backstory too, but it's irrelevant but relevant because it would help you understand why I reacted the way that I reacted when all this was going down. I'm talking total disrespect. And see, me, I'm quite seasoned when it comes to relationships, and so, you know, I already knew what the possibilities were. I was anti-relationship when I met her. I was anti-relationship because I already know I'm too pure. I'm not perfect, but I'm pure. I'm pure. And I know when you're pure, these women smell blood. They smell blood. And you will get fucked up out here. So I went through a little hoe phase before we got together, before we met, and a little bit after we met, because I wasn't fixing to, I just wasn't about to lay all my cards out there like that. I already knew the game. I already knew the game. You know? And see, that's where my mistake comes in at, wherein I was being a little hoe back in Okinawa, Japan. Shout out first group. 1-1. 1-1, who was that? 1-1 FSC. First group out there, Okinawa, Japan. Yeah, so, you know, I'm out there doing my thing. What? Get in a relationship? Nah, I was in a few. You know, for me, being a hoe would get boring, and I would go jump in these relationships with these chicks knowing I wasn't ready for one. I wasn't in that. I wasn't. I wasn't in the mental state for one, or the emotional state. It wasn't time for that. I should have just kept dating the whole time. So I meet my wife, and prior to when we were just talking, and I guess because of who I was and the mistakes I made in the past, it she had this view of me. And so she knew I was sleeping with a lot of girls, and I was getting a lot of attention, and so she had this idea where it's just like, how could you possibly change? Leading into now we're married. And so she had this idea, this is who you were. How is it you could be different now? And I'm just like, do the math, baby. Do the math. Yeah, all right, well, yeah, I was a hoe. But you was never perfect either, But do the math. Come on now. I got options out here. I do. And if it was really all about that, or I valued having options over being loyal to you, why the hell, why are we married? Why? That's what I don't understand. Why add the drama if you can't settle down? Now, I understand, and we getting ready to get into something deeper. I understand that we men, we do love our variety. And that cheating for men is really, the act is the same, but it's really not the same as when women cheat. See, women cheat emotionally. That's when it's dangerous. That's when, not that one is good over the other. It's just we men cheat for recreation. Like, we sleep with different chicks for sport. It's like hunting. It's like, it's just so when we do it, there really ain't a whole lot of thought. Like, we're not bruised, we're not angry with you, we're not hurt over you, we're not ready to leave you. It's just like we out here just catching another kill. That's really all it is. But for a woman to cheat on you, man, she about to leave your ass. So that's why it's different. That's why it's different. She's thinking about leaving you. She's no longer satisfied with you. But for a man, we can be very satisfied with who we're with. But see, if you're going to be doing that, then in my eyes, let the person know up front. You know what I'm saying? Let them know up front that, hey, I love you, but we're not going to be as exclusive as most people. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, get that, go ahead and knock that out from jump, just to avoid the unnecessary drama. There's just too much life to live for you to tie yourself to somebody and have this discrepancy in terms of, your line of communication. There's just that's too much hassle, man. Otherwise, I would stay single and just keep hoeing around. Like, come on. That shit, it makes no sense. But I do understand, you're like, how could you change so quick? It wasn't a quick change. It was actually quite gradual. It was gradual. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It was gradual. I'm not even gonna lie. I did have some dealings with other women while my wife now is just my girlfriend. I did. And I just recently admitted that to her. I told her, and so I was just like, man, that was then. That was how many years ago now? Like, I'm not gonna say I'm 100% different, because I still do catch myself looking at other women. I'm still very attracted to other women, and I told her that. And I think the biggest way to lead us in the direction of healing between us both is if we go ahead and just be upfront with who we are. Just be upfront, man. You don't have to. If you don't like me, honestly, man, I'd rather you leave, for real. Even if it's, the good and the ugly, man. If there's parts of me that you just are just totally unacceptable to you, and you're not gonna stand for it, you're not trapped. You are not trapped. And so that's something I wanted to go ahead and establish. We're in our first year of marriage. I wanted to establish that, like, look, I love you, but especially with all that's been going on, you on social media talking to other dudes, I got to worry about you actually being where you tell me you are, and who you talking to. You ain't loyal? Come on now, stop playing. Like, you're not the only one out here who could be doing their thing on the side. But see, that's not what I had in mind initially. But see, it's messed up because my thoughts were not congruent with my actions from the beginning. So how could she respect me? How could she respect me when deep down in myself, I already know that I need that variety in my life? That I love having other women in my life. So I told my wife, I said, understand this. Look, when we go out in public and you see me talking to other women, or you see other women talking to me and laughing while they're talking to me on some real cordial conversation, but you can see she's probably feeling my vibe or whatever, understand that, okay, yeah, there's another chick here for the moment, but I will never let any other woman feel that they are more important than you are. I would never let that happen. I'm married to one woman. So before I go run around with another girl, I have it in me the utmost respect for you as my wife, as someone that I've chosen to join myself to in this union and be committed to for the rest of my life. I owe it to you to let you know, hey, I need other women in my life. As, yeah, I'm gonna let you know I need that. But that's not what I was going for in the beginning, man. I wanted exclusivity, but I'm really starting to feel like that shit is not real. That shit is Disney. That shit is Walt Disney. And all the cartoons you see on TV, that narrative we grew up with, the reality I live in, and for some people you might have gotten lucky and you're a match made under heaven. But if you look at the statistics, it ain't looking good for the traditional marriage. So what do you say? What do you say we go ahead and start working our way towards polygamy, however you say that. What if we go ahead and start working our way in that direction, where there's one woman more important than the rest, and then the rest you just equally distribute your attention? Because let me tell you something. Let me tell you what I've observed. I've been around. I've been around. More than I'm willing to admit. Honestly, my dating history used to be something I used to brag about. But honestly, now it's like I'm not all that proud of it, really. It came from a place of desperation. I was trying to figure out who was good for me. I was trying to figure out who I could be a good man for. And it was coming from the wrong place. It's coming from the wrong place. I've dated a lot of chicks, man. And when I was coming from that place of being genuine, every time it was unappreciated. It was unappreciated. Every time. You want to know what else? When I met my wife, I had a girlfriend. And she knew. She knew. And so for her to have kept giving me her attention back then, vying for my attention back then, what does that say? And I say I've been with a lot of women. And the only ones that went for my attention, the only ones that really cared like that were the ones that I cared less about. It was always the ones I cared less about. The ones I did less for. The ones I paid less attention to. Why? Oh, I know why. It's because women are attracted to men that are capable of attracting other women. Let's break that down even further. If you are the kind of man that completely goes out of your way for a woman, and I'm going to say this is 9 times out of 10. This is general. You seem to have all the time in the world for her. And what makes her happy, your agenda is only everything to do with her. In the back of her mind and her subconscious, something she's not capable of admitting to because it's not on her radar, but it's that if she's got all of your time and nobody else is absorbing your time or nobody else is vying for your attention, that must mean you're less valuable. That must mean that there's really nothing to you. You're incapable of providing that necessary roller coaster for her emotions. In order to keep her on an upward and downward spiral. Why? Because there are no other women in your life. She has no reason to fight for your attention. You're too easy. You're too simple. And see, I came into the marriage knowing all this. Knowing all of this. Because I thought, you know what? I'm just going to be mature about it. And whatever happens, happens. And so here I am talking to a bunch of strangers about how marriage in today's society is really not the move. It's really not the move. I just watched a clip of my brother proposing to his fiance just the other day. And when I seen it, I just said, oh, hell. Gotcha. Gotcha. You know how you always hear the stories from other people who are married and they say things like, when you get married, the sex slows down. And you're just like, psh, ain't gonna never happen to me. Until now, that becomes your ass. That's now your reality. And so now you can relate. That was me for a second, but I told my wife, I said, no, that's non-negotiable. There's too many women out here that would be willing to hand it up, to hand it off, and hand it out. So I'm like, what? I married you, and now there's now the cakes are scarce. Hold on, man. Don't do that. And so yeah, I nipped that one in the bud, but now I see what people are talking about. Cause see, women subconsciously or maybe consciously use their bodies to lure you in, right? Because see, they understand that for the most part, women sleep with who they want to, and men sleep with who they can. That's the reality of a lot of people. Not my reality. I slept with whoever I wanted to, consensually. So, and you might say this is disgusting, but who cares, man? It's like, if this is not your reality, then, click off. There are a lot of things you can view from the outside in disgust because you don't understand it. It's not your reality. And you'll never understand it or be able to relate unless you've been there. So don't be so quick to judge. If this ain't you, you can't relate, you're appalled, go away. But for those who know, go ahead and like this video. Comment, subscribe. And I'm going to try to be more consistent now that I'm going in a different direction. Because see, before, when I first got on YouTube, I was the happy-go-lucky, the Mr. Stepdad. Hey, happily married, happy wife, happy life. Bullshit. But now I'm going in a different direction with this, man. It's, I think I could offer some value to a lot of people because, see, women will treat you in ways they wouldn't treat other men. See, right now, it doesn't look like I have a whole lot of options. So she's back to, or she's diverted to this frame of responding to the kind of man who has no options. In total disgust, disdain. Ugh. And that's how women treat guys that don't have options. But anyway, let me let y'all go. Tell me what you think. Leave your feedback. I'll get back to you. Take it easy.